Hey guys, this is the commentary video for Mass Effect 3 Unity ending, also known as Space Hitler ending. Going to this project, I actually really liked the original ending, mainly because I was so focused on Shepard, way more than the other characters, because I just wrote her origin stories. And so for her to sacrifice herself for the rest of the galaxy, I just didn't expect that, and I was very sad. And so to me, it was a very appropriate, bitter ending. However, it's pretty clear that I am completely alone in this regard. So I wanted to change that. I wanted more people to be emotional about Shepard's death. And the biggest hindrance is obviously all those issues fans brought up. In my writing, I try to fix those while maintaining everything BioWare did that made me love the ending. And the most important thing to take away from this commentary is that the changes are made because I'm writing a film script, not a video game. It's not fair to compare my ending against the endings in the extended cut. Yes, it's all storytelling, but when you change the format, you change the rules, and you require a completely new approach. Nothing can better explain that than this first change I did. I know people don't like the Godchild, but has anyone thought about why he was put in there? No, I don't mean what is the child's motivation. I'm asking why BioWare put him in. Obviously, someone at BioWare liked it. So what is the reason that a new character was introduced in the last 10 minutes of the game? Well, my theory? At the end of the first Mass Effect, there is an epic choice regarding the fate of the console. At the end of the second game, there's an epic choice regarding the collector base and Cerberus. Yes, he made a difference of 10 EMS, but at the time, it did seem very significant. So it is completely expected that BioWare keep this tradition and try to blow our minds with an even more epic, thought-provoking, ethical dilemma at the end of the third game. How do you deliver that from a plot perspective? How does one person's decision change the fate of the galaxy for eons to come? Well, I can't think of a way other than space magic. So the Crucible is invented as the plot device to give the player that final option. Throughout the entire series, whenever you have to make a choice, you need to gain the relevant information from the relevant character. The only relevant people with the knowledge of how the Crucible works are the Reapers. So can you imagine what the scene would be like if Harbinger gave you the same information rather than the child? If this was the case, everyone would pick the refusal ending. If you don't trust the information, the decision-making process is completely ruined. Players are not deciding based on their value system and morals. Instead, they are relying on the old information that the Reapers are evil. So my guess is that the Godchild was created for the purpose of getting the player to trust the information provided and get on with the epic decision. The information presented is one where it introduces a gray area where the Reapers are not necessarily evil and their roles can be repurposed if the player can see that way. You might not be a fan of this, but where do you think the problem is? Is it giving the player that final epic choice? Is it that the Crucible was used as a plot device? Is it that the person they picked to give the relevant information was, too jarring? Personally, I can't see an easier way of resolving this issue because they're all so linked. And let's be honest, on first playthrough, I mean the very first playthrough, how many people trusted what the child was saying and made a proper decision based on what they believed in? I know I did, and I don't think I'm alone. Yes, there will be people out there who didn't trust what the child from the get-go, and they have good reasons not to. But it worked on others, and so the purpose of the character was achieved. For me to resolve this issue is very, very simple. Because a film script do not require a choice, I just have Shepard speak directly to Harbinger. Again, let's first look at why the Citadel was the catalyst. And I think it's because of the brilliant idea that the races from previous cycles incorporating the Citadel into the design of the Crucible. This means that you are turning the Reaper technology against them. The Citadel is a giant mass relay, and so you can fire the energy into the other relays and have the energy spread across the galaxy in this beautiful imagery that cure the galaxy of the Reaper disease. The other brilliant idea they had was that no one ever seen what Earth looked like until Mass Effect 3, but instead of doing a classic alien invasion, let the Reapers take Earth and be about taking Earth back. Not only is that more emotional, but it's a super catchy as a promotional and a marketing motto. And they put these two ideas together by moving the Citadel to Earth and have a beam linking them. And then it causes way too much problem. The YouTuber SmartBoy did a huge comprehensive video about this. The gist of it is that it generates too many questions for the audience. Why did the Reapers move the Citadel to Earth specifically? Is it even possible to do that? Because you are talking about moving a large Stargate through a smaller Stargate. I know that's not possible for doorways. So did the Reapers kill everyone on the Citadel? Are there any survivors? If the Citadel blows up and it is a mass relay, wouldn't that kill everyone on Earth as established in the Arrival DLC? And why didn't the Reapers attack the Citadel as soon as they got to our galaxy? Because they did that every previous cycle. Why did they wait? Was it because the Citadel can close its arms and it becomes impenetrable? If so, what changed that allowed the Reapers to take over the station? Is it indoctrination and betrayal playing a role? Because Shepard did spend a lot of time boosting the defenses of the Citadel security. So what's that? That was for nothing? And what's with the beam? What does it do? Who figured out that it's the back door onto the Citadel? And what if they're wrong? Because if it's a trap to a meat grinder, Shepard and everyone is screwed. And why can't the Reapers just turn it off? Did they need the beam on right during the battle? I mean, isn't it more evidence that it is in fact a Reaper trap? And what about the other backdoor onto the Citadel, the one from Mass Effect 1 called the conduit on Ilos? Can we try to use that again? But yes, then it will be called Take Ilos Back and won't be as catchy as Take Earth Back. I'm sure there are people out there who can explain all these questions, but this is a climax of the story. Plot integrity is important, but you do not want to waste time explaining all these details and lose the emotional intensity that you spend so long building up. I can't think of a way of doing it except get rid of the Citadel. So I rewrote it. I didn't go into the details in my video because it would have been explained in earlier chapters, but I will explain here. Basically, the Crucible blueprint was incomplete. It was well disguised in that it should work, but it doesn't. No one knew this early on. It wasn't until the recovery of Javik that he explained that Protheans actually completed the Crucible as drawn on the blueprint. However, it never functioned the way it was supposed to. Something went horribly wrong. Javik isn't a scientist and the event happened before his time. He only knows it has something to do with what's called the Catalyst. The Catalyst is not the Citadel. The Citadel is still in Citadel space, untouched, totally safe from the Reaper attack because of the arm can close up and make itself impenetrable. The Catalyst is actually a missing portion of the Crucible blueprint. Only the Reapers know how to build it. Discovering the blueprint very late in a cycle is not a coincidence. It happened every cycle. The purpose is to give the Resistance a false hope. The Reapers know that this small hope is enough for the Organics to throw away hundreds of ships in order to protect the Crucible. This only results in them being wiped out in one swoop by the combined forces of the Reapers and a quicker end to that cycle. The Reapers then take the Crucible and bring it to the Catalyst that they have themselves constructed, usually on a planet. Once the Crucible docks with the Catalyst, the device is ready. The real purpose is to draw dark energy and recharge the Reapers for a new cycle. In other words, the Reapers uses organics to build a giant battery to recharge themselves, which is also a trap to destroy the majority of the organics resistance. In this cycle, the Catalyst dock is built on London, on Earth, so I kept the Take Earth Back motif. This caught the attention of the Alliance because Reapers tend to destroy everything, and so for them to build something, it's troubling. In order to save time, increase the sense of urgency and emotional intensity, I got rid of the Sanctuary mission and moved the Cerberus Chronos base to Sol system. In other words, right after Thessia, all the fleet gather come to the Sol system. It takes some time to travel between the Sol relay to Earth, and so Shepard detours quickly to Chronos base and learns the horrible truth regarding the Crucible trap. At this point, all the Reapers from all the other systems arrive in the Sol system, so between the Reapers on Earth and Reapers that just arrived, the Sword fleet is trapped and will be systematically annihilated. This is when the Prothean VI offers a small possibility that a virus can overcharge the Crucible so that it can overload the Reapers rather than recharge them. It is very unlikely to work because you need the Crucible to dock with the Catalyst. But what helped was that Shepard united every race in the galaxy. The Sword fleet was way bigger than the Reapers anticipated. The Reapers will still win, but with heavy casualties. Part of the reason is that 50,000 years without a recharge meant they are low on energy. Usually there's plenty to last them until the end of the destruction, but against Shepard's giant fleet, they need to recharge right now to minimize casualty. Shepard tricks the Reapers in taking the Crucible and docking it with the Catalyst because she needs them to do that for her in order to deliver the virus. And then she lands on Earth and rejoined the Take Earth Back movement. A little bit late, but everyone at that point has heard about the two Reapers fleet in space and how desperate the situation is. And then you play this. Please pause this video and watch this 2-minute video and then come back. Well, that video is televised to all the troops and ships, and so Shepard inspires them to keep fighting. Action sequence play out, and again Shepard uses her intelligence to get into the superstructure, but barely. An injured Shepard is now alone in the Reaper base, and that's where the scene takes place. And given this setup, you'd only need the Crucible range to be within the Sol system, since 99% of the Reapers are already here. I think BioWare had this intention too, with the cool possibility that a few Reapers actually survived and are now in hiding. But the real reason why I didn't show the relays exploding was because the soundtrack I used, Sunshine, wasn't long enough. And that's it, the music used wasn't long enough for the visuals to play out. Because I wouldn't mind the relays getting damaged or destroyed, because, think about it, all the races have to reconnect and rebuild the relays while trying to maintain the peace the Shepard gave them. You just know there's going to be tensions, which is a perfect setting for a new hero, a new team, with cameos from previous Mass Effect characters, to do the peacekeeping. So destroying the relays could be really interesting if you make sure that, billions didn't die. And so, that's just more interesting compared to people going home, building houses, and getting drunk at a bar, in my opinion.